evening, everybody. Welcome back. I can't help but laugh because we are always changing stuff 10 seconds before Spencer, I can hear you too. Shut that down, please. But what a joke. We're always mess with stuff, whether it's my camera or the setup. Come out of it 2 seconds before we go on the air. How you doing today, bud?
I'm all right. Lots of meetings this week. I don't love meetings.
You've had meetings for work? Because I haven't bugged you for anything.
No, work meetings. Our meetings are okay, like the ones that we have, Clinton. Like there's usually a corporate meetings are painful, right? It just
When do we have meetings, though? We talk about ideas. We never get together. We fight about it, and then somehow we make it work. But
those are the meetings.
I don't know.
We fight.
Yeah. Happy Chili Bowl week to everybody. For the Dirt fans, the season is alive and well, and in day number 2 now. If you're with us last week, you know the Tulsa Shootout was big last week with 1,800 entries. Well, Chili Bowl's up in the 300s as well again this year, which is just wild. Matt Williamson, who was on the program with us last week, is racing tonight. He's coming up in qualifier number 1. So if you got Flow Racing, check that out. Spencer, did I send you the Epic Racewear slide at the end? Some check. I think I did. Our buddies at Epic Racewear. No, I don't think I did send that to you, Spencer. Matt made the qualifier, so he'll start 10th in the qualifier, which is really good because you're starting last. So a lot of passing points to be able to gain there if you're going the right way. He did flip in his heat earlier, started tail, came back to 4th. So at least, moving up after some trouble, but it's all about what you got going on. So Chili Bowl rocking in effect tonight if you're checking that out on Flow. Hopefully you got us on one TV and that on the other screen, and we'll talk about it. Let's talk about what's that? Okay, show it, Spencer. Epic Racewear put this out today on their social media Chili Bowl giveaway. So if you don't have Flow and want to watch the rest of the Chili Bowl week, which goes right through Saturday, and all the biggest names in dirt motorsports are going to be there, check this out. Look up Epic Racewear on their Insta and their social. They're giving away a deal. All you do is follow Epic Racewear, like the post, and tag who you'll be watching with that week. You have a shot to win a subscription to Flow Racing, which is cool. So thank you, Dan, and everybody at Epic for what they do for us. And we're happy to pass that message along. Adam, 2 guys have been on the show a lot. Treyten and Kyle Steckly scheduled to join us tonight. Both making it to the big stage at Daytona. How big of a story is this?
It's enormous, and I love the fact that they're both doing it on the same timeline. Really cool. Both of them, phenomenal multi-generation racing families, good young drivers, getting some opportunities. So, no, it's pretty exciting.
I love the ARCA system. I think it's a great way. You're out there racing, you're drafting, you're going through it. So I can't wait to hear what they talk about. ARCA is not going to be easy to qualify this year. I think it was 70 guys practiced, 70 drivers, I should say, practiced. Amber Balkan, who was on this program in the past, was qualified number 1 at the end of the week, which is pretty cool for her and Canadian race fans and the girl race fans as well. So lots of good stories there. I've always been a big fan of the ARCA race. This year it's going to be shown live on Fox, which is huge for the ARCA crew, Saturday after the Xfinity race to be on the big network, right?
I always loved that day. The day that the ARCA race was usually the same day as the shootout. If you were in Daytona, it was a phenomenal day to be at the racetrack and take it all in. And yeah, it's a great series, great experience. It's the stepping stone. So I look forward to seeing how they do.
Andy J and Koyak will also be working down there. Steve Lewis, Ransfield driver. So we have a lot of connection to the ARCA. So you may hear a lot of ARCA talk lately from around here. And I think Fran and I were born with the same brain. As soon as I said it, it appears up on the screen. But man, I got some cool stories to talk about tonight. Some interesting stuff that happened to me this week. Kind of a funny story, too. Just we'll have a laugh later. But without further ado,
want to ask Fran, who's Bob Martin? Was there a Bob Martin who scrubbed the wall in ARCA testing, apparently a Western New Yorker? If anyone knows, it'll be Fran.
Good question. To those asking, yes, Glenn is racing Chili Bowl Friday. Is his day down there. Jay Mallory's also on the deal. I think Mallory's racing Thursday. Jacob Dykstra was last night. Matt Williamson tonight. Kyle Steckly is in the race shop by the looks of it. Out of the principal's office. I can't tell whether Kyle's, it looks like that. That looks like the principal's office where I had to sit in the chair and wait for the vice principal to come back and explain to me how he was going to call my mom because I was late for school again. Kyle, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
How much time did you spend in the principal's office?
Not much. I wasn't there too much. I was always at the racetrack, but no, I was a good student.
Go ahead, Adam.
I need you to spill it, Kyle. Your experience going to the Daytona to test an ARCA car. What was the coolest part? Like, was it driving through the tunnel and getting into the facility? Was it driving off pit road, coming onto pit road?
Sorry, you cut out there, Adam. I missed like everything you said.
Perfect. What was the coolest part about your Daytona testing experience?
It just being on the track, honestly. I mean, you watch all the 500s either there or on TV, and it's all I've done every Sunday in February at the start of the season is watch the 500. So to be on that track was really neat and definitely different. You just going into 3 and 4, you hold it to the floor and don't lift. So it was a lot of fun, really cool experience, and just thankful I was able to get down there and turn some laps.
Kyle, so tell us how the deal came together. Obviously, your association with Rhett Jones. We kind of speculated that bigger things were going to come. For me, it was at Daytona when I saw how many other series they were involved in. I'm like, okay, Kyle's got a direct path to the big leagues here with Rhett Jones. When did this program come together? Who's behind this whole push? How did it all come together business-wise?
Yeah, it's just honestly been a group effort for sure. I think we're just trying to take it one step at a time for sure. But, this is something we wanted to do. And definitely, I wanted to get turn laps on Daytona and experience that. And then Terry Jones and Luke Ramsey from APC, between the two of them, they've pushed me so far in my career. And they've given me so many opportunities. So we kind of all came together and we've talked about what we want to do this year, and that Daytona test was one thing I really wanted to do. So between Luke Ramsey from APC and Terry Jones with Rhett Jones Racing there, we made it happen. And Cletus McFarland was obviously there as well. So he got all day Thursday and I got all day Friday, which was pretty cool.
What's going to happen come race weekend, Kyle?
I'm not sure yet. We're still working it out. Obviously the test went really well for us, so trying to get it sorted that I can be back there racing in February, but everything's got to line up and work out there. So it's looking like Cletus, I think he's announced it, but I think Cletus will be back with Rhett Jones for the race for sure, and hopefully I'll be there in some sort of way as well.
What's the sticking point now, Kyle? You've shown you got the speed. You've shown you can do it. The team's got the experience. Is this a funding thing?
Pretty much, honestly. Unfortunately, that's what it comes down to a lot of times. But, I've got some great people behind me, and we're working hard to put everything together so we can be there in February and be racing. But obviously we have a full 2025 season ahead of us, and we got to be smart here. So, we don't quit racing in July or anything like that. But, just got to work a couple things out and, see how it works out with Rhett Jones because, they've been super good to me and I want to keep building our relationship together and stick together. So we're just going to hopefully connect the dots here and you'll see me at Daytona in February.
What's written in stone so far, Kyle? Is anything in 2025 firm?
I don't want to say anything yet. I mean, some stuff is pretty set, but we've got announcements and things we want to put out coming shortly. So, I think it's going to be similar to last year, but a couple changes here and there. And, I don't think I'm going to be back full-time APC this year, unfortunately. So just keep racing super late models lots, and I'll be in NASCAR Canada a bit, and I'll be in the APC series again for sure. So, some announcements will be coming out shortly.
Kyle, I'm curious about the Daytona Super Speedway license. What does that process look like from someone from your experience? Is it just something they look at your resume on paper, or like how does that whole process come together? Obviously, to do anything with NASCAR Canada, even you have to pass a medical, so you need your medical exam to make sure you got all your stuff together there. So that's a given. But what happens with the on-track process to get your Super Speedway license?
Yeah, it's I don't really know exactly what it entails, but obviously you got to go to the test and then turn some laps. I think make a couple runs in a pack, and then basically they're just watching you throughout the test, and if you are confident, comfortable, and look smooth out there, then you'll be approved. And obviously, like you said, the medical and drug test and all that stuff has to be filled out even before you get to Daytona. So, I believe I'm approved. I haven't heard word, but from my understanding, it's just you got to make a couple runs out there, and they'll watch you, and then they'll either say you're approved or not.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be. I just saw out the corner of my eye, Mike Hess won the first C main at the Chili Bowl tonight. He started 10th because his seatbelts came off in his heat race. Isn't he the race director for High Limit, Clint?
There is a Mike Hess. I haven't paid attention enough tonight to see if it's that Mike Hess. I mean,
that's pretty. I think it's the same one. I could be crazy. Sorry, Kyle. I've just shocked me out the corner of my eye. He went from 10th to 1st in his C main. Kyle, how involved are you in these meetings when talks of budget come up? Are you in the room for a lot of that, or do you kind of keep a distance?
A bit of both, honestly. I definitely like to know what's going on and be part of it, and be there. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the businesses and the teams. So I'm not there for everything, but I like to be involved. I like to know what's going on, and be there where I can be, and try and help everything come together and connect.
Kyle, how hands-on are you? Like, we know you're mechanically inclined. You do a lot of stuff with your in-house team cars. With the Rhett Jones situation, are they bringing like fully prepped cars and you're kind of standing back? And if so, how hard is that for you to not be building every piece on this car?
Yeah, it's tough for sure. I mean, we've got such a good program that I've grown up with here in 22 Racing in Milverton. So it's tough going to that next step where you're kind of putting it into the other people's hands. But Rhett Jones Racing has been, definitely great. They've put a lot of effort in and always come to the track prepared. So couldn't ask for a better team to do that with, but it's been different for sure. I mean, I'm still trying to be really involved in setups and understanding what all the changes are doing on the Port City race car. And, that's definitely important. So that was a big learning curve last year, but, I think we got it better throughout the end of the year, and the ASA deal was really good. So hopefully we can just keep growing off that and working well with Mark Rett together and go from there.
Did you have any holy shit moments at Daytona, Kyle, or was it pretty keep the thing pointed in the right direction the whole time?
It was pretty calm pretty much the whole day until I did a pack run right at the end with a couple of Rev Racing cars, and I hung back a little bit and got a big run trying to lay a heater down and shoot it up to the top of the board, and then the two cars' fuel pump quit, and he just stalled out and the car died, and I almost pile drove right into the back of him, but luckily we got on the brakes and didn't tear anything up. But other than that, it went really smooth, and it's definitely going to be wild when there's 24 cars out there instead of just 4 cars drafting.
Kyle, when do you think you'll have some solid news for us to bug you again?
Probably the next couple weeks for sure. I mean, I think everything's getting really close. Just have to finalize everything, put it all together, and then get something out there on social media. So it'll be soon for sure. It all takes time to put everything together, and working closely with a lot of people. So going to connect everything and put it together, and hopefully be in the APC 30 come Speed Weeks down in New Smyrna, and maybe at Daytona as well.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on getting that experience, Kyle. It had to be unbelievable. And when you have news to share, You know where to come.
Awesome.
Time out. I
Thanks.
got one more. Kyle, so we didn't talk about New Smyrna. What's the plan there?
Well, you'll see in a couple weeks.
All right, that's fair. We're all thinking big track stuff, but all right, we won't pester you too much. Thanks for your time, Kyle. It's always great to have you. I mean, we're proud of you guys because we were with you guys from the beginning. It's awesome to see you guys step up the ladder. It's amazing that our crew that hangs out with us here on Tuesday can come along for the ride. So we appreciate you taking us with you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kyle. Crazy to think this kid was a mini stalker, kicking ass 5 years ago, and now he's turning times at Daytona. It's awesome to see these guys make their way up through the deal. We're expecting Treyten Lapcevich to join us here in a bit too. I think it's super cool. I think it's neat. We get all the inside scoop.
All the stars have to align. Timing is everything. The fact that APC is in a place where they can put a marketing push behind a young Canadian, you know what I mean? And APC has been behind a lot of different drivers with a lot of different potential. But this is the one that could really stick.
Yeah, and, when you get down there and you see, okay, let's say they've got all the funding and the backing to make it work. The awesome thing about Kyle and Treyten getting these opportunities is they've been able to capitalize on them with performance and show that it isn't just a funded deal. These are the guys that should be getting the funding because they can get it done. And it's great to see them make it work on 2 different stages down in the States last year. And, be awesome to see if they can both get in that show for ARCA.
And
where do they go from here?
To your point, Clinton, they've succeeded. They've won at different levels, at high levels. So it's not like they're a surprise down there. To me, it's similar to J.R. Fitzpatrick, who just commented here not long ago. He won the last year of the CASCAR Super Series. So when he went down south, he had some weight behind him. So it's good to see these successes because there are a lot of young names down there that don't necessarily have that level of success. They have different ways of getting their opportunity, getting to Daytona, but this particular batch has some wins under their belt.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Hopefully Treyten can join us here in a couple minutes. As we mentioned, it's Chili Bowl week. We'll be watching that and following up some stories on that too a little bit. Let's talk about the MTO info session for a minute. If I say the name, in fact, I'm not going to say the name yet because it's an unofficial deal. There's a gentleman that we work with at Oshweekend who helps us out with Gale, Gale's Auto Aftermarket, Gale Hill, who's a great sponsor of Oshweekend. This gentleman, I got talking to him this week about Gale's sponsorship, and I found out he's an MTO inspector currently right now who's about to retire from the Ministry of Transportation for the province of Ontario. Well, those are the trailer cops, right, who are out there telling you your racing rig is overweight, your car's not strapped down, your chains aren't proper, your lighting isn't good. And I talked to this gentleman and I said, hey, what about, do you think we could have, I don't want to say amnesty because he wouldn't be the cops by then, he'd be retired. But what about a program at Oshweekend where we could offer to our race teams that we could have a free trailer inspection by a former MTO inspector who's not out to give you any grief. He's just going to look over your rig and say, hey, you're going to get pinched for that. You're going to get in trouble for that. They're not going to like this. What do you think about that idea? Think the racers would buy into that, Adam, or is that something that they're just going to be like, nah, I'm not even going to waste my time?
They're going to – it's like saying, do you want to give a voluntary breathalyzer test? I don't care if I haven't had a drink for a month. I'm not putting my mouth on that machine. Opens me up to scrutiny that I don't need.
Yeah, but if it was a retired cop and he says, hey, man, I got this. Well, nobody. And Mark said, no, thank you. Yeah, I figured
as nicely as I can say this, Clint, where is your head this week? Because you sent me another post earlier this week.
Oh, we're going to get into that, too. We're going to get into that because you called me a Karen last night, so we'll fight about it. Now, I can tell you that I've been told things are going to get tighter with the MTO, especially if you're going near the borders with this new situation. So I'm going to bring this guest on in a couple weeks, and you can talk about it. So I just thought it would be a good idea to give racers a shot to see what's wrong with your situation. Now, this okay, Decker's like shut
So
up.
here's something similar but different. If you offered pre-tech to race teams, it's no guarantee that you'll pass post-race tech, but we'll look at your stuff before the race. I think you'd have the same thing. I think you'd have a lot of screw you. You're not looking at my shit. You can see it if you call me in after the races.
We do have that. As soon as tech gets there, you're welcome to bring your car in any time and ask.
Yeah.
And a smart racer would, but I get it. You always figure out something that might get you in trouble. So we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not going to waste the guy's time if nobody's going to take him up on it. But he offered. He's like, hey, man, I see lots of these, for better, I don't even want to use an adjective, but terribly put together race haulers. That would never
how many do you follow? How many times have you followed a trailer out of the racetrack and their signals aren't working and they're just
this
a
is
bucket
what I'm
of
saying.
bullets.
All right, let's bring Treyten on. We can fight about this later. Treyten, welcome to the show, bud. Congrats. We just finished talking to Kyle Steckly about his experience at Daytona. How was your test going? What's your plans? We got so many questions, but first off, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, guys. How are you?
Good, bud.
Good.
Adam, what you got for him? What do you want to know from Treyten?
Talk about the experience, Treyten. What was the coolest part? Was there a part where you thought, "Holy shit, I'm a race car driver"?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. About the first time out there, you get up there, you rip right around the fence to get the car wound up, and that was pretty cool. I kind of, when you get up in the banking and into the turns, you just feel it sink you into the seat, and it just kind of carries you around the whole corner. So it was a lot of fun for sure. Really cool experience. It was something that we kind of put together last minute, and didn't really know like how much time I would get in the car and whatnot, but we were able to get out there for a few runs, and it was a good experience for sure.
So what happens from here, Treyten? Are you still trying to get a deal together to get in the race in February? Do you have a deal set up? Where do you go from here?
Yeah, right now we're kind of working on a deal to be there in February and really try and figure out our plans for the whole season at the moment. Not really too sure how fast that's going to come about. Obviously, time's kind of running short. We're kind of at crunch time, especially because teams need to start getting cars ready, and we're right down into that area. So hopefully able to put some together relatively quickly. Not a whole lot to say right now, but hopefully soon anyways.
How much does what you commit to in February affect the rest of your summer, Treyten?
Yeah, I not really sure the complete answer to that just yet. I think that I would really like to be competing for a championship in whatever series it is. I think that it's great when you're able to compete with a team for the entire season. It's really hard to jump around with teams and run a couple races here and a couple races there, just because you don't really get to develop that relationship and get the momentum going. So wherever we commit to, I think it's going to be a big step no matter what, just because like I said, I really feel like there's a big advantage in running it with a team for a full season.
Treyten, I had so many questions, but obviously the business end is going to have to be taken care of first. Do you have a thought on where you'd like to be? Is that a fair question? Like if all cards lay out, where do you feel comfortable? Where's your best success?
Yeah, once again, it's really hard to say. Like, this isn't the first thing that we've been trying to work through this off season. There's been other deals that we've had put together, and they fall through at the last second. You guys know as well as me, it's a really tough business and it's a tough deal. Really lucky to have the supporters that I do that are helping me through stuff like this. That being said, we're always looking to add some partners to that atmosphere, that that ecosystem that we're creating to continue competing regularly and full time in the U.S. So that's all part of it too. So preference wise, I don't really have one. If I can be in a race car full time, that's enough for me.
No, that's a good way to look at it. Did anything surprise you about racing at Daytona?
Not a whole lot. The thing for me is I really wish I would have got to try out the draft. I was probably going to be in the car quite a bit more on Friday. Unfortunately, there was a big storm heading through Charlotte, and our team as well as a lot of teams there wanted to get home and have all the crew guys home safely in the trucks before that storm hit. So unfortunately, didn't get out on Friday. I was only able to make single car runs on Thursday. I would say actually it did surprise me how stable the cars were. I knew we were going to be flat out, but I didn't know if maybe they would be a little bit on the edge or whatnot. But they're pretty stuck to the track. Someone asked me like if I lifted into turn 3 on my first lap, and the quick answer was like, you're so glued to the track and you feel so secure that there's really no need to even feel like lifting. So, I was definitely a little bit surprised by that. That being said, I don't know if you get into the draft, if they get a little bit more uneasy. I know they're going a lot faster. I think drafting times were anywhere from 2 to 2.5 seconds quicker. So, and obviously the air would play a big factor in how much the cars are moving around.
What about your own stuff, Treyten? Any plans to get your own stuff out, dabble here and there?
Yeah, so I was, I really liked running Dominion Raceway in the late model stock this past season, and saw ASA's got a race scheduled there for the super late models. So I'm kind of eyeing that one up to be there with the 32 car. We just got the motor back sent out after 5 flags about a week and a half ago now, and just kind of got that diagnosed and starting to make some progress on that end of things. Luckily, it wasn't a complete loss or a complete blow up, so I'm going to be able to get that thing back together and back in the car. But that's kind of what I'm aiming for. Obviously nothing completely set in stone just yet, but I really enjoyed that track with the late model stock, and I think it'd be a lot of fun with the super late model too. So just got that one circled on the calendar right now. I think that one's somewhere around the start of April.
Will we be able to see you race in Canada much this year, Treyten, or is that not looking likely?
Not too sure about that one yet. Same thing. I just not really sure how my schedule is looking in entirety right now. Hope that I can be up here for some races at some point though.
All right, Treyten. Well, we'll stick with you, man. We appreciate you giving us your time today. Anything else you want to know, Adam?
No, man, just appreciate you coming on. I know you see a lot of us, but you're the one making news, so we appreciate you being here.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Treyten. 2 young kids out there trying to make their dreams come true. If you're out there looking for someone to get your Canadian business on, or business from anywhere for that matter, don't know how to get a hold of them, we'll hook you up. Let us know. But good luck to both Kyle and Treyten as they make their Daytona dreams try and come true. Sounds like they both got their eyes set on where they want to be. Hopefully they get the funding they need to make it happen.
I have a feeling we're going to see at least one of them race in Daytona in February.
Yeah, for sure. And I see Robbie's comment. Good luck to Team S. Yeah, Thomas Meserole on the show. Right? Johnny Longboat gave Robbie his other alias is racing tonight. Well, Chili Bowl has got your attention, Adam. How about this? How to fight at the Chili Bowl video. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Roll that, Spencer, when you're ready for it.
If you're going to fight, do one-on-one. You can pull anywhere from turns 3 down to turn 1. So basically opening to opening, and settle it yourselves one-on-one. Kind of like hockey rules. Our crew won't break it up till it gets disadvantage or on the ground. It adds a little excitement for the fans. And, when they do it at the top of the ramp, there's just so many people in this building. You might get a drunk or two to just walk through and sucker punch somebody or an official. We do have a bunch of ladies that work the staging area. But if anybody saw the flow video from Shootout, you don't want to mess with those ladies. I saw Jill up there wrap one of the drivers up by his suit. So you don't want to mess with the ladies up there. But, we just can't control it at the top of the ramp. There's so many people. We don't want to get it out of control. So I'm just trying to express to the drivers, hey, if you want to do it, put a show on for the fans and do it on the racetrack.
You love it, don't you?
I don't love it, but I get it. I respect it. I understand what they're doing. There's certain things that are inevitable in racing with the amount of passion and the amount of ferocity involved. So at least giving them that opportunity. Because the top of the ramp, you've got to remember, too, if you're a crew person or if you're a driver, most teams I know have the kind of agreement that unless the driver starts it, the crew is not to start any shit. But the trouble is, it's some of the people that are with race teams, but not necessarily the crew. Maybe it's a mom or a girlfriend or, someone who's been drinking, who's associated, and they start running their gums. Well, now you've got group situations. If it's done on the racetrack between two willing participants, I agree with exactly what they said. Until someone gets the advantage, once someone gets the advantage, you break it up. How many times have you seen an official get in the middle of a fight and think, oh my God, what are they doing?
Yeah, I know. I'm laughing because I think you're 100% right. Most of the crew, most of the drivers understand the ground rules for what we're doing here. But it's always the outsider who happens to be there once off and sees their buddy get thrown around, or it's always the extras. I agree with that.
So it's not a matter of condoning fighting or endorsing fighting. It's cutting your losses, mitigating risk. It's safer and better on the track than at the top of the ramp in a crowd where innocent people can get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever love encouraging fighting at the races, right? But it is inevitable at some point. Tempers fly. You've got a lot of money, time, effort, and expectations, built into this deal. So I understand why when things don't go as you towed in expecting them to go, it gets off kilter. And I think the way he said, I think the biggest thing I got away with that is one-on-one, and when there's someone gets in a disadvantage, we'll stop it. So you don't want someone to just get ragged on and their shit beat out of them, but
No, exactly, and I agree with that assessment.
Fighting gets me upset. But when he said, some get like hockey, when someone gets on top, it's over. So, all right.
How many times have you seen skirmishes where the officials look like they want to fight more than the combatants do?
Yeah, that's a problem too.
Right? Like everyone's known the tough security guard
who's just waiting all year to get in an altercation like that. The best were the security guards we used to have at Auschwitz. And when Doug Leonard and I were running the races one night, two guys got in a fight, and these were young up-and-coming security guards who you could just tell they were aspiring to be police officers one day. So Doug and I walked to the back, and he takes us back there, and he says, well, what happened? He goes, all right, whips out his police thing out of his top, his little notebook, flips it open. Suspect number 1, 5'9", driver of car number 311, blah, 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 goes on. Suspect number 2. I'm like, oh, man, Doug and I were laughing our asses off. Just the way they were so official about it had me dying. I'm like, man, he even had a notebook.
We've talked about the Niagara Falls Convention Center indoor races a little bit. And there was a janitor. He was a maintenance man. Have I talked about him before?
No, I don't think so.
He was a black dude that worked maintenance. So he was always pushing around a mop bucket. One of the nicest people you ever want to meet. Always wore shirts that were about 2 sizes too small for him And this man had arms like you have never seen in your life. Like, this guy was an absolute physical beast, but a sweetheart of a man. And, you know, over the years, year after year after year, you go to these events, you get shooting the breeze, you think, has anyone ever tried to mess with him? Or has he ever witnessed something here and had to step in? Because he could tear someone limb from limb. Fran probably remembers the fella I'm talking about. But one of those images you get in your head that never leaves.
You were a little kid. I wonder how big you really was. You know, when you were a little kid, your perception is a lot bigger.
I was racing go-karts. I was 6'5".
Yeah, but you were 6'5" in grade 3.
Yeah, give or take.
Wow, this kind of all ties in. The cops, and it's a small world. So, before we get into the OPP post that I'm going to go off about, it's a small world I put on there. Okay, so I want to tell a story, but I kind of want to be vague because I don't really want to lay out too obvious who it was. But so let's just say I worked an event at another racetrack this summer. Part of my duties there were kind of an official capacity, and I happened to be at the payout window. And one of the racers came up and was upset with how things were officiated. But then the girlfriend showed up, and she starts just a scream. Do you know who we are? Do you know? I'm like, no, I don't know who you are. Not really do I care. Either way, you're DQ'd. You're not getting paid. Go away from the window. The lips just kept flapping. Like, dude, the wildest shit you ever heard come out of a 20-year-old woman's mouth. And I was laughing. I wasn't even mad. I thought it was funny. Because I didn't really care. Well, lo and behold, that same person, I get an email today looking for a donation for one of their causes. And I was like, ooh, it's such a small world. Now, I typed the nastiest friggin' response you could ever imagine back. Clinton Geoffrey, East Hamilton, this letter up so freaking good. And then I just deleted it. Because you know what? Nothing good's going to come of it. This ass is going to start plastering my correspondence all over the place, and I'll end up looking like the dick. But in the real world, we know who the dick was and anybody who was standing around that day. But I just thought it made my morning say, the first email I got up was like, oh, karma came back to me today. It's beautiful.
You should have used that new function they advertise on TV where you write something up, but then you push friendly or professional, and it changes the whole tone.
The thing is, I ran it through ChatGPT, and it still came out nasty as shit. So even AI knew I was pissed off. But I just thought it was funny. So the moral of the story is, racing, especially here in Ontario, is such a small world. So before you go screaming at somebody, maybe there is someone you're going to have to ask a favor to down the line. So maybe you need to think about that. And like we say, crew are the sole spokesperson for the job because now, or for the team, because now you're all on the shit list because your girlfriend had a big mouth. That's it. It's the moral of my story. Sorry, I had to say something. That was my way of not sending a nasty response to be shared all over the place. But, you know, I don't think I want to play tennis with these guys, so
no,
it's over.
But you got to be careful. You never know who's watching. I've had that conversation with my son Connor. You know, you have conversations or you say things. You never know who's waiting in the wings. Don't say anything privately that you wouldn't also say publicly.
You know, as you travel around with Connor a lot, going to races, I have that same advantage with Jack, right? Being the camera guy, spend all Friday night, Saturday night with him all summer long. And I think that, you know, that's one of the messages I gave to him is I go, more people know who you are than you know who they are. So if you go out there and make an ass of yourself, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that was Jack from G-Force TV. So don't kid yourself how many people actually know who you are. And even this person didn't think I knew who they were. But I knew who they were. After she said, do you know who I am? Yeah.
Not only do I know who you are, but I will remember who you are in 6 months when you need something from me.
100%, 100%. Don't worry, we see it all, and it's usually the ones who are the dicks who come asking for favors come summertime. But we're taking notes. Well, here's a big rumor. Rumor mill in South Niagara that an unnamed businessman is in talks with Brian Rankin to save Humberstone. I just don't know what to say to that. I don't see it. I'm not even going to give it no hope. They tore the guardrails out. They tore down all the sound systems. You're about a month too late, unless they're going to spend a bunch of money. But let's talk about it. How would that place ever survive, Adam? I mean, I tried to run that before it was Osh weekend for the Davidson and Costco families. It won't work. Did we talk about that place being a pavement track on Sundays at all in this program?
I don't remember. I remember talking to you privately about that. I didn't have the same enthusiasm that you did, but I was impressed with how much you thought about it.
Yeah, there was talk about maybe paving it at the very end. And this was a talk between me and two other guys. Like, it never got serious. But talk about possibly paving it and running it Sundays, because the asphalt world could use another track, and they just put a new guardrail. The tower's great there. Like, it could have easily been a blacktop speedway. And why would you turn it from a dirt track to a blacktop? Well, very simple. In the summer, you can't race in the daytime because it's just too dusty until the sun goes down out there. And to run a Sunday night racetrack until 10 o'clock on a Sunday night just doesn't work. But if you could start at noon and be done by 5 o'clock, you could make it work with a blacktop pavement track. But it's all gone. I just don't see it happening. We'll be the first ones to be chatting about it if it does come about. But I don't know. Jacasa ready for Sunday as well. That's a good talk too, Mike. But I think that's still tied up in too much BS also to make anything happen there right now.
Seems that way.
But it's in a better spot. It's got all its brand new lighting. It's got the track ready to go. You know, Jacasa, if I understand it correctly, has some power issues with the campground and pavilion area in the back, but all the racetrack area is good to go. But I don't know, man. That's a good discussion. Hey, you know who we can talk about Jacasa with? Alex Nagy, because I think he's going to come on next week and talk about state of agency. And he would know what the shots are of getting Jacasa going again. We still have our Burger Barn videos of the week, but this is where the segment where Adam called me a Karen. I was pissed off last night. Man, I had a bee in my bonnet. And this is the OPP media post. Show this one if you can, Spencer, the screenshot I sent from the OPP. I was insulted by this. Okay, so this is the Ontario Provincial Police, Central Region. So it's just a media release. Driver from Newell, mistaken for a NASCAR driver this weekend, stopped for speeding 160 kilometers in a posted 60 on his way to work. He was late. Was he late for a shift or just auditioning for Fast and Furious or Simcoe County Drift? Either way, the only thing stunting now is his commute, as his vehicle has been grounded for 14 days and license is suspended for 30 days. On the bright side, he's got plenty of time to practice on walking to work. Moral of the story, speeding doesn't impress your boss, but it will get you a starring role in traffic court. So, you know, they're trying to be cute, but my issue here is that they use the NASCAR logo. And, you know, we quasi-work for NASCAR, but this is slanderous to a business. For one, it's out there saying that, you know, all NASCAR drivers are reckless. It's shedding a bad light on NASCAR drivers. And the other part of it, if you're only going 116 in any NASCAR series, you suck ass. So it's insulting to the drivers too. So I don't get how they can get away with this. And it's not just because it's NASCAR, Adam. If they put something out about Pepsi and put the logo, okay, take it off, Spencer. But how can they put the logo of NASCAR up there on a post with a business? I mean, if I'm Alan LaBrosse, I'm ripping those cops a new one. Now, I wrote a nasty thing and deleted it too because I don't need the cops at my door every day or following me around the province. But I think that's that shitty pool by someone trying to be cute who has a bad look on their hands right now. You can't do that.
Yeah, they can. They can. They did. I thought it was cute how pissy you got about it, and I get it. I do understand what you're what you're saying, but at the same time, to me, it's like whatever. Let people do what people are going to do. Like if that's your biggest problem over the course of a day, you've had a pretty good day.
Now listen to me. Let's turn this around to the other sports. How do you think Gary Bettman would feel if someone got beat with hockey sticks in downtown Toronto and they put in their media post that so-and-so from Toronto was trying to act like an NHL player and put the NHL logo? Now, I'm okay with them saying trying to be a speedy race car driver, but the fact that they said NASCAR, which is a private entity and a private business, for them to say that out there and put that out there, NHL would be suing their ass off if they did that to say. Now, if they were saying acted like an NHL hockey player. Now, if he said acting like a hockey player and swinging sticks around, nothing NHL can do. But the fact that they used a private business and entity, that is shitty business by the cops. It is. And I hope they got in big trouble for it. But they probably did.
It adds brand awareness.
To a cop post? You're the police. You already have brand awareness.
Are you upset that they didn't tag it like Friday Night Thunder or Big O Proud?
Yeah, because then I could have really raised a stink and had a dog in that fight because I would have been on that battle today.
Again, I thought it was funny the way you were ragging on it because I thought this would be someone complaining about this is the sort of thing I could see Clinton really getting behind, complaining about. But I get your argument. Like I don't think you're wrong. I just thought, man, if this guy has him fired up, what the hell else can we put him through today?
You just lost passion for everything. You just don't give a shit about nothing no more. You work for NASCAR more than I do.
Listen, NASCAR is not in my good books right now. I'm impressed.
Okay, then.
I want to see Mike Wallace race the 500.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. So those are my beefs. So I just think it's bad business. It's bad etiquette on the cops to use a private private business logo.
It had to be a co-op student. Like it is. It's bad form. It's illegal. What they did.
Thank you. That's what I've been waiting for you to say, Mr. Journalism student.
So you
back
can't
me
be a
up
cop
on
and
this.
do illegal things to make a point. So yeah, I get it.
Trademark infringement, Spencer says too. That's where I'm on it, and I felt the exact same way when I would in with Gary, yelling at him, freaking out before I sent it to you. And
now,
Gary's bad.
okay,
Dad Gary pours gas on the fire. He's like, "Yeah, write him a nasty letter. Get on it."
Do you know what was on special today at Chuggy's for lunch? And Rob says hi, by the way. You've got to come in and have lunch one day.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, what was it? Pepsi sandwiches?
McChuggy's sandwich.
Nice.
So it's their take on a McMuffin.
Okay.
So is that bad form or is it cute?
It's cute, but I bet he doesn't have a McDonald's logo beside it.
He did not.
And that's all I'm saying. Chuggy's, if you're wondering, is one of our good buddies. I've known Rob Kellett for years. Near Adam's work, they go over there for lunch. We got talking about it. I said, "Hey, tell Rob I said hello."
Well, that's a good take.
Read it.
NASCAR has nothing to do with the OPP and or speeding, says Dale Shaw. Anyone can speed. To assume a professional race car driver would in a 60 zone is the real offense here. Good point.
I can back you up on that, Dale, because some of the biggest grandma drivers I've ever been with in my life are race car drivers. Come on, speed up.
Yeah.
I used to fight with my brother all the time. My brother goes, "I do my racing speedway." You're an ass.
Actually, Doug, I knew you'd go to Chuggy's. Billy V just finished second in his qualifier. Good job, Billy Van Imwingen.
Yeah, Kyle Tomaski just sent me some pictures.
The OPP did not get permission from NASCAR. I will bet my paycheck on it.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I felt like you did, Adam. I said, this is somebody trying to be cute with their post, an intern or somebody who's just getting started, because a veteran would have been like, "Yeah, you can't do that," right? So Anyways, I'm glad I kind of won that battle. You kind of agreed with me. Let's talk about a couple things. Oshweekend Speedway schedule will be out Monday. We know that. Rules meeting for Oshweekend Speedway will be Sunday, March 2nd. Press release is coming about all that stuff. So we've got that together. Burger Barn Video of the Week coming up. Remember, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are always great days to go down to the Burger Barn. And Petro Plus, fill up your tanks while you're down there, both yours and your vehicles. Time now for our Burger Barn Videos of the Week. Not sure what we got on top, but let's see. So this is Christopher Bell bringing his car to Joe Gibbs' showroom this week after winning the Tulsa Shootout.
What's up, guys? Christopher Bell here. We're at Joe Gibbs Racing. We've got my Tulsa Shootout winning micro sprint in the show.
Now, how wild is that, considering Joe Gibbs wouldn't even let him race dirt up until a couple months ago, and now he goes out, wins the Tulsa Shootout, and Joe says, yeah, bring the car and put it here in the Joe Gibbs Racing showroom. I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought his interview was cool. When he won that race, thanking Joe Gibbs, the amount of praise he gives to the Tulsa Shootout, to racing indoors there in Tulsa is pretty amazing. Yeah, David, the Chuggy's in Stony Creek on Barton Street.
You know, I think this Christopher Bell situation, he won the Race of Champions last night, the Chili Bowl also, just super pumped, super happy. If I'm anybody in the NASCAR world or outside midgets that has to race Christopher Bell from what I've seen the past weeks, I'm worried. He's happy, he's confident, and he's in a good place right now, so we'll see how he plays out the rest of the week here. So we'll watch for C-Bell at the Chili Bowl this week. What else we got, Spencer? Okay. This is Total America, Adam. This isn't King of the Hill. This is streetcar racing. No cages. Bring your streetcar. Let's go. I would love to do this. Why aren't we doing this in Ontario?
That's a good question.
These guys are going at it too.
Yeah, I'll say.
So, all right, Spencer, kill it before we get a strike. I just realized got that playing in the background. But don't tell me it's insurance. We could do that. We need to do that. Four car King of the Hill on the Oshweekend Dirt. What do you think? We used to do wild shit like that. Do you remember when we started?
Yeah, but keep in mind.
Go ahead.
We had 40 race cars in the pits on a given Friday night. So you had to stretch things out. You had to do things that were entertaining or goofy or cute. Now it's the opposite of that. You got so many damn cars. You got to move so fast you can't do it.
There was a time when we started there when Glenn Sires said, someone's going to flip their car every night or I will flip a car. And he had a rollover ramp and would come out a couple times a year. Nobody got flipped at the races. Glenn, get in it. You got to give these fans a rollover. So that's where we were. All right, what else we got, Spencer? Keep them coming. Okay, this is bead rolling art, Adam. Now, if you've ever had to bead roll, just a line even on a body panel, which I have back in the day, this is crazy amount of talent to make this artwork with a bead roller.
Big time.
Right? You know how talented this guy has to be? That is insane. And I'd like someone like Jared Fitzpatrick or Dale Shaw who are watching here to chime in on this, because this level of bead roller technique is unbelievable. It's almost like next level Etch-a-Sketch, right?
That's amazing.
All right, what else we got, Spencer?
This is the first time I've seen a tool from.
Oh, this is just something I saw. This is a cool way to measure a pipe. You know, if you're in the shop fabricating, and then if you need to make a template for cutting holes in body, like for rub rails and stuff, I thought that was an ingenious little tool there. I'd never seen nothing like that. What else we got, Spencer? Okay, so this is someone's trolley they made for their dog. I thought it was funny. That's Decker's ride. See, if you were a good dad dog, Decker would get to ride in that at least once a week. But you're not. You just make him lick your hair and sit on the back of the couch.
He's not even sitting on the back of the couch this week.
I know. He's like, stop talking about me. All right, what else we got? Okay, I want you to watch this video. Super cool home track, but I also want you to count the death traps. Okay, so we got a car, we got a dumpster, we got a trailer, got a guy walking, got a tent, got a car on blocks, got a shed, got a fence, all unprotected.
What the hell is that track? Like it's a real racetrack.
Oh, it's awesome. Couple of blunt force ends, concrete wall on the outside, nothing to worry about. That's a cool track though, right? Road course, big bank turn, got everything you could want, except interior barriers to keep you from hitting everything on the inside if you get out of shape. All right, keep them coming. Now, I think we have a couple coming up due to weather. And if I'm out of order, Spencer, don't mean to be that way. What else we got? All right, keep them coming. Okay, so your rich daddy just bought you like a GT3 race somewhere where the car's worth millions of dollars, and you go to pull out of the pits and you put it in the fence. Show it one more time, Spencer. He didn't even get on the track. And that's an Aston Martin that you just put in the wall, pulling out of the garage. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be that guy. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is Vado Raceway. It snowed. And the caption was, you guys didn't even try to get it in. So, that's where they call the track. Like, you guys even going to try? Crazy, eh? Snowing out there. All right, what else we got?
We'll see as the lights are out. Keep an eye on RTJ, Buddy Kofoid as well, but it's Austin
I don't know what
Torgerson
this
going to
one
lead
is.
him to
I
green
don't
here
remember.
to 3.
Oh, this is Matt Williamson's heat race today.
Line change between the two of them, getting into
So
the
Matt's
corner.
in the red and black car there on the outside with the yellow 71 on it, coming up through the middle here.
And Buddy Kofoid even apologized somewhat for getting his teammate into trouble, but it worked out all right for Matt. He got back to a 4th place finish.
Yeah. Are they into qualifiers yet?
Yeah, they're into qualifiers. They're just fixing the fence right now.
Okay. We got one more video here.
Look what's chasing Todd Zegedy around the racetrack.
I wonder what was going through Todd's mind when he looked up and saw that big orange thing coming at him.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this happen before.
Is it going to miss the timing lights? Yes!
We didn't get a time on it, though.
This is the biggest crowd response of the day.
You know what, though, Mike? I think it's going to fail tech.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to fit very many templates.
Nope.
Where's Ricky Bobby when you need him to crash right through the middle of that thing? We need some orange crush. Wow, we made it almost perfectly out of that hour. I got to thank Kyle and Treyten for stopping by. Alex Nagy's set to join us next week. I don't know. Anything else we got to talk about?
I don't think. Oh, you know what? Next week I'm in Mexico.
Oh. All right.
Who wants to host the show next week with Clinton? Johnny Longboat.
My goodness. All right. Well, we'll figure something out.
Thanks for watching, Rick. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate all of you. It helps us get through the winter.
Yeah, just having fun. Talking what we got to talk about. Go Bills, right, Fran? Yeah. All Bills fans are out here. But what a great deal, man. We're on the flip side. We're headed towards racing. Motorama will be coming at us soon. We'll talk to Greg McPherson, I'm sure, next little bit to talk about how that's going to come together. I don't know, man.
Did you see the email I sent to Bryce today?
Yeah. I was shocked you said
Is
you
that
would
gonna-
do it, actually.
What's that?
I was shocked that you would actually. I'm stuck there all weekend. Don't matter to me. I was shocked you'd want to commit to that, but we can talk
I think
about
we
it.
should. I think we should. Let's play
Adam in
along.
Mexico. I've witnessed that shit show.
I get
Go
my
across-
money's worth.
We go across the American border. Adam's good. We cross 2 country borders. I think you said roles reverse. I start drinking water. You're boozing all day. It's a hell of a trip, man.
Yep.
All
Taking
right.
my 30-year-old son Devin down and a whole bunch of friends, so should be good.
All right, well, you enjoy your trip. Maybe I'll have to get Alex Nagy to sit in your chair next week. You don't know it, but maybe he's going to have to do the whole show with me.
There you go.
Do we get the unbuttoned shirt? I hope the hell not. The Adam unbuttoned shirt in the Speedo? No, I'll pass with that. I saw that firsthand in Mexico a couple seasons ago. I'm good for that. And you're going to have a stupid hat, aren't you? Do you take the stupid hat, or did you just buy it there?
I love that stupid hat.
You take the... it's the stupid hat.
Do you want to see my Mexico hat?
Yeah, we need to see Mexican hats. We can all laugh before we go.
Hold, please.
How about that, Spencer? He has a hat. Like a real hat. Like, not like the hat. Like the Mexico hat. I do not want to see the Mexico swimsuit, though. Past that. Yeah, oh God, here we go.
I got to get it straightened out. It looks like an Outback hat.
You look like Robin Hood. You look like Robin Hood. Oh my God, say something from Robin Hood.
I don't know it's from Robin Hood.
Just go steal from the rich and give to the poor. All right. Oh, go over pile. I love it. All right, I gotta go. Thank you, Spencer. Thanks to our guests. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us and making us laugh on a Tuesday. Adam Annapolis Jones. Oh, okay, that's your assignment, everybody. We need better names for Adam while he's gone. We're gonna make so much fun of you. We're gonna talk so much shit about you. It's gonna be glorious.
You all enjoy it. Go Bills.
Crocodile Dundee. I'll take that one. Oh, Dundee. Sorry. All right, see you guys. Go Bills.